Toward the start of the film, we see a lady whose name was Ellen. She was playing by the ocean with a touch of young lady. After which we are shown the subsequent scene. A few fighters were taking shots at somebody. Then Ellen's eyes open at one spot. What's more, anything that she saw by the ocean, it was only a fantasy of hers. She was kept secured in a room. She remembered nothing about where she came from nor about her life. Out of nowhere, she hears a sound from the speaker in the room that you need to move the pencil before you from its place before the time is done. What's more, when the time begins, the entire room becomes red. What's more, the clock begins the screen before her. Ellen some way or another takes herself to the table also, drops the pencil on it. After which everything becomes typical. All was well. Ellen asks the robot, "Where am I?" Then a ringer sounds and Ellen becomes oblivious. Then she has a fantasy where she sees sand by the ocean. In the wake of seeing this, she recovers awareness. Be that as it may, this time her options and feet were limited. What's more, she is given a similar errand again that she needs to move the pencil. She hears a voice that in the event that you don't do this, we will murder your little girl. Once more, the time begins. Once more, the red light turns on. However, presently Ellen recalled that the young lady playing by the ocean is her little girl. She asks, "Where could my girl be?" Yet, that voice doesn't offer her any response. Ellen needed to follow through with that job. That is the reason she breaks the binds of her hands with her shoes. She tosses her shoes on the pencil, with which the pencil tumbled down. And afterward all is great once more. Ellen was again oblivious. She again has a fantasy. Be that as it may, this time she was seeing everything right. Her little girl was singing. She additionally advises Ellen to sing with her. At the point when she sings with her, she nods off singing. After which her eyes were opened here where everything was occurring bizarre with her. In any case, this time her hands and feet were open. She was searching for the entryway here. Be that as it may, there was neither a window nor an entryway here. Food was additionally kept on the table, which was very peculiar. Ellen eats that food. At the point when she sees her appearance in the plate, she views as this extremely weird. She asks with that voice, "How have you treated me? What's more, why have you kept me here?" In any case, she finds no solution. Ellen begins crying. And afterward she nods off crying. She again has a similar dream of the shoreline. Yet, she awakens soon. She again hears a similar voice. Furthermore, she is informed that you need to move the pencil once more. In the event that this time you don't move the pencil, then, at that point, we will murder your girl. On which Ellen yells and says, "On the off chance that you truly have my little girl, then give me confirmation of this. I need to hear her voice." Then they cause her to hear her girl's voice. After which the clock begins. In any case, this time there was a glass wall before Ellen. She attempts a great deal to break this wall. Yet, she can't break it. Presently she was flying off the handle. She yells out of resentment and advises the pencil to move. The pencil likewise tumbled somewhere around itself. After which she falls oblivious once more. Also, again she sees her little girl in her fantasy, with whom she was sitting. She was making a place of sand. In any case, this time she had a head injury. What's more, she hears a man's voice from behind, who was calling out to her. At the point when Ellen wakes up once more, her eyes open in a similar room. This time she was tied on a seat. Furthermore, there was a man before her. Ellen had a similar physical issue on her head, as she was in her fantasy. That man comes to Ellen. In any case, she was believing that perhaps this man is the ruffian, who has detained her here. She pushes him. In any case, that man says that I am your significant other. I go by Roger. Then Ellen remembers everything. She shares with her significant other, whoever has detained us here, they have our girl. On the off chance that we don't take care of their responsibilities, in the event that we don't pay attention to them, they will kill us. However, at that point unexpectedly the voice of that robot comes, who was advising them to move the pencil once more. This time Roger gets the pencil. In any case, the voice doesn't come. Just Helen will accomplish this work. How might Helen do it now? She was restricted. Roger asks, "How are you going to make it happen?" According to Ellen, "I have accomplished this work commonly. These individuals are causing me to accomplish a similar work over and over. yet, in various ways. While talking, they begin contending once more. Then, at that point, Ellen yells boisterously. What's more, the pencil is cut into 2 pieces. Roger was exceptionally astonished to see this. Furthermore, Ellen herself was additionally draining from her ears. She used to swoon in the wake of following through with the responsibility like clockwork. This time it happened something very similar with her. She sees her better half Roger in her fantasies this time, who was taking a gander at him irately. Once more, after which her eyes open. This time food was saved for herself and Roger in the room. Roger shares with her, I think Ellen, you have some unique power. Do you recollect when you used to fly off the handle with him? At the point when you used to battle, the things in the house used to break when you shouted. There is certainly something particularly amazing inside you. After which Roger gives her water to drink. And afterwards she lies on the floor. Roger asks her, do you recall that anything? In any case, she says nothing. At the point when he brings nourishment for her, Ellen yells at him. Food tumbles from her hand far away. Roger was likewise extremely shocked. That is the reason her eyes open once more. Furthermore, she finds in a fantasy, in which her girl was telling her, where do you go over and over? She tells her little girl, I won't go any place now. I will remain with you. Yet, this time her girl vanishes. She calls her. Yet, she doesn't find her any place. When she recovers awareness, this time she was attached to a seat in the room, which was joined to the ground. This is where Roger sees the injury on Ellen's head. Seeing this, he figures out that there is something on her head. That is the point at which she hears a voice. This time she is given another assignment, in which she needed to put the ball on the table in the container. In any case, the table was likewise connected to the ground. According to Roger, look, you have the power. Use it. Also, you can isolate the table starting from the earliest stage. Ellen gives full consideration. She isolates the table from the beginning. Roger brings the table towards her. Also, that is the point at which she places the ball in the container. Be that as it may, this time subsequent to doing this undertaking, she isn't oblivious. That's what she recalled. They had gone to the coastline to praise their little girl's birthday. These two were finishing an endless flow of jobs here, which was more troublesome than previously. Like one of their undertakings was that they needed to make a sand post. Also, in the wake of accomplishing such troublesome work, blood was additionally emerging from Ellen's ears. Numerous days had passed similarly. The two of them were getting by eating peculiar food. One day Ellen is given an undertaking that she joins every one of the pieces of the weapon individually. In any case, Ellen can't do it appropriately. Along these lines, Roger flies off the handle at her. Ellen was likewise blowing up at him. What's more, presently out of resentment, she joins that firearm. What's more, unwittingly, she takes shots at Roger. In any case, that projectile halted in the air before it hit. Then, at that point, all is well. What's more, Ellen additionally returns to her fantasy once more, where presently her girl had made a sand stronghold. Yet, Roger came and demolished it. According to he, I committed an error. Then Ellen awakens. Presently she was again in a similar room where she sits and eats with Roger. Ellen lets Roger know that I remember nothing about my previous lifestyle. According to on which he, you were an educator and I was a vocalist. However, after the introduction of our little girl, I left this. He begins grinning, recollecting the wonderful recollections of his life, and furthermore apologizes to one another for the battle. Similarly, Ellen nodded off while talking. This time she finds in a fantasy that she gets Roger's ring, also, her little girl's shoe from the sand. Also, here her eyes open. This time before her, Roger was remaining behind a glass wall. Sand was falling inside him. Be that as it may, Ellen could do nothing. She couldn't think. Here she was additionally contemplating her previous recollections. That is the reason she was unable to finish this errand. What's more, when she sees Roger gets covered in the sand, after which she hears, you didn't finish your job. Ellen was exceptionally furious. Also, out of frustration, she breaks the speaker with a boisterous voice, from which the voice was coming. Then, at that point, an entryway opens there, from which 3 officers come. However, Ellen kills them with her powers. Then she emerges from here. She sees that she had finished 298 assignments. That is the reason a lot more fighters come there. However, this time Ellen had learned to accurately utilize her powers. She kills them all. At the point when she emerges, she sees 3 entryways. Also, there she meets Roger. At the point when she goes to him, he tells her, "Everything is like me." At the point when Ellen opens that entryway, a similar face as Roger emerges from it. Then more troopers came there. They were the entirety of a similar face. Ellen kills them as well. And afterward she goes to a room where she heard a robot. "Your girl is dead." Hearing this, Ellen escapes her control. Furthermore, shouts uproariously. Those individuals who had detained her switch off the gadget that deleted her recollections. It implies that the injury behind her head was really a gadget that was fitted to her. Here Ellen remembers everything. It was her little girl's birthday. They all went to the coastline together. Be that as it may, meanwhile, Roger had a battle with her. Also, out of frustration, Roger lifted his hand on her, in light of which she shouted out of frustration. Roger and his girl kicked the bucket. She was the explanation for the passing of her loved ones. As a matter of fact, Ellen had extraordinary abilities. That voice likewise tells her that every one of the errands you did were each of the 8 trial of your powers. There is an entryway before you where you will fail to remember everything in the wake of leaving. In any case, Ellen says no. I need to live in the recollections of my better half and little girl. I will rehash this multitude of errands. Then, at that point, Ellen has similar dreams. Furthermore, again her eyes open in a similar room. In any case, she remembered nothing previously. She is given the errand of shaking the pencil once more. Toward the finish of the film, we are explained why Ellen was here. Furthermore, whose voice it was. This spot was a mysterious association. They found out when Ellen killed her family with her powers. From that point onward, they brought her here so she could remain here and control her powers. So there is no misfortune in the remainder of her life. With the goal that individuals around her experience no difficulty. With this, the film closes.